And said to his friend, he's like, why did the dog sit? I've been telling the dog to sit like 5, 6 times, and you just said it once. And the owner of the dog says, I am his master. I am his master. That's all the friend said. I am his master. And what does the word master mean? The word master is also the word for shepherd. It means leader, controller, the one who the dog looks to. And it says, my shepherds, my sheep hear my voice and they obey me. That's what it means, follow. Follow means they obey me. They follow me. It's the same concept. We always have to look at concept when we're reading the Holy Scriptures, even reading things in general. We look at the concept because words relay concept. Don't get stuck on the words literally. You have to get the concept, which is what they call context. So it says, my sheep obey me. My sheep obey me. And that's what the man, the owner of the dog, was telling this man. I am his master. The dog obeys the voice of the master. When the dog hears the voice of the master, he obeys. Every other voice, the dog does not obey. The dog is friendly, likable, wagging his tail, very, very, very friendly. But the obedience is only to the master. That is the concept here. The Lord is my shepherd. It's for where there is a shepherd, there are sheep, and the sheep obey the voice of the shepherd. So there's this is just one line, but I want to show you how deep it goes. The shepherds obey the voice of the sheep obey the voice of the shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. It means that I am the sheep. I am the sheep. If the Lord is my shepherd, I am the sheep. And I obey the shepherd, because that's all sheep do. That's all sheep do. They obey the voice of their shepherd. That's all they're listening for. Go this way. Come here. Go. It says, I call them all by name. The shepherd names his sheep. He knows all of them. He numbers them. He counts them. He knows all of them. That's where the shepherd leaves the 99, because he's counting them. 1, 2, okay. Oh, he's like, where is the last? Where's Billy? Billy is missing. Let me go find Billy. He knows all of them by name. And he says, he says, the Lord is my shepherd. It means I am a sheep. I am a sheep. And the Lord knows my name. And I listen to the shepherd's voice, which is the Lord. I listen to his voice. I obey his voice. That's what they say. This is don't recite these things and not just recite these things and follow. For you to read the scriptures, you're confessing. The Lord is my shepherd. And if you confess truthfully, obey truthfully. It means whatever the shepherd says, you do. If you don't, anyone, the shapes of the, he says, I know my sheps. I know my sheps. This is the Lord speaking. I know my sheps. My sheps obey my voice. He told the Pharisees, why don't you obey my voice? It's because of you are not my sheps. If you are my sheps, you would obey my voice. You would have no other choice. It's like they are in a trance. The master's voice is a trance. Puts them in a trance. The master's voice it triggers things innate in them. It triggers involuntary action. They cannot help it. When they hear the master's voice, it's like music. They have to dance. There's no choice. It's pari passu. It's tied. It's like the head and the tail. They go together. The sheep and the shepherds, they go together. They must obey the master's voice. They have no choice. It's not an option. It's not an option. It's not voluntary. It's involuntary. The man said to his dog, sit. It was like he has to. The shepherds too. When he tells the shepherds, let's go. When he tells the shepherds, rather, when he tells the shepherds, move. Then they move. Or he makes a sound. And the shepherds know it's time to move from this pasture. Let's go to another pasture. Let's keep moving. Or the sound is going down. Let's keep moving. They obey the shepherd's voice. They have no choice. It's the same. We are the Lord's shepherds. We are the Lord's sheep again. We are the Lord's sheep. And the Lord is our shepherd. We obey his voice. Whatever he says. You see, it's not, I'm not asking you to obey the Lord's voice. No. That's anyone who tells you to do that is foolish. The Lord's shepherds have no choice. Do you get it? Oh, obey the Lord. Get out of here. That's stupid. The Lord's shepherds have no choice. When you see a man and walking and you see shepherds behind him, they belong to him. How do you know? They're obeying his voice. This is how you know the good from the evil. Those that are not following the good shepherd don't belong to him. You go and tell them, go and follow the good shepherd. You are a fool. They are not his. It will be theft. Or they'll be infiltrators, imposters. They'll be wolves, but they are dressed like sheep, trying to hide in the midst of the flock. But the good shepherd would remove them. He'll be like, I only have 144,000 sheep. Who is this 144,001? There's one here that is not mine, and he will find them out. The angels will remove everything that offends from his kingdom. He's going to take them out. His own sheep are numbered. And when he has 100 and one is missing, he says, I have to go look for that one. He is numbered. When he has 101, he says, one of you is not mine. And he starts to smack them smack them on the leg. And when you smack a sheep, it bleeds. But when you smack a wolf in sheep clothing, you hear, whoa! It's like, okay, I got you. It howls. Because when they open their mouth, they reveal themselves. That's how you know the wolf in sheep clothing, when they open their mouths. So let's carry on. I shall not want. The shepherd's care, the shepherd's joy is to feed his sheep, to make them fatted, to make them look robust, to make them have wool, to make them grow, to make them be so woolly that he can get wool from their skin, to make them have so robust he can get meat from them. This is metaphorically speaking now. I know you, my disciples, comprehend. Yes, my disciples, you will comprehend because you have wisdom. I shall not want. Now the next verse says it. The shepherd leads me. The shepherd leads me to lie down in green pastures. What does let's focus on the word green. Green represents agriculture. Green represents flourishing. Green represents prosperity. Have you ever heard someone say, show me the green? They even represent money. Metaphorically speaking now, you, my disciples, be wise. I'm going on a broad spectrum. I'm eat from different layers. I'm feeding you from different layers now. I'm feeding you. So eat from each layer as you can. The green represents prosperity. It represents abundance. When you see a grass that is green, you know it's flourishing. There must be water around it. It's flourishing, it's prospering. Prosperity, the color green, it means alive. It means green represents life. When you see a tree, it says the tree that is evergreen, it represents life. It means there's life in it. But when you see a tree that is brown, you know it's dead. It's dying from within and without. It's withering. And that's where the verse says, the shepherd caused me to lie. That's to lay down. Not just to go there, to lay down in green pastures. One thing about shepherds and shepherds is when you lead them to green pasture, they eat so much. Eat so much. Just like you, when you eat your natural bread, you eat so much, you're like, oh, I just want to lay down, right? Many of you have had that feeling. You eat, which is fine. I understand you're humans. You have to. You're man, but don't gauge too much. But from experience, you've had that when you eat when you ate you ate food and you just want to lay down and sleep. I just feel like sleeping. Right, that's what this picture is. They are fed to the full. He caused me to lie down. He leads me to green pastures, and after I eat so much, I just lay down. That's what the sheep do. When they eat so much, they don't want to move. They just want to stay down, lay down there, because they ate so much. That's how good the shepherd is. It takes them to where they can eat, where they can prosper, where they can eat good food. The good shepherd will lead you to where there's prosperity, to lead you to places where you can make a lot of material money. The good shepherd leads you in every direction. Spiritually, he will lead you to where you can grow spiritually. The green represents prosperity on different levels. He will lead you to green pastures where you can make a lot of money. He will give you ideas and tell you, do this. You'll do a so-called menial job, but you make more money than people who are doing big time jobs, and they will envy you. Like, how are you making so much money? Doing that? You make that much money doing that? How do you make so much money? But that's the shepherd. The shepherd leads you to green pastures. It leads you to places where you will flourish. It leads you to places where there is prosperity, where there is nourishment. That's what the color green means. Where there is money, literal currency, money currency, he leads you there too. Like I said again, I'm showing you a different aspect of it. It's different layers of it, different aspects. It leads me to green. It causes me to lay down in green pastures. The next verse is, he leads me to the side, he leads me to be on the side of still waters. That's what beside means. I want to break it down for you so you comprehend it utterly fully. He leads me beside still waters. He leads me to be on the side of still waters. So he's not just leading you to water, but he's leading you to where the waters are still. What does it mean to be still? It means to be steady. Steady means it could be stagnant, but steady means it could be not fluctuating in rapidity or fluctuating in current, because ocean has current. Just like how you have a sine wave. Yes, that's what we use. We use water to generate currency, like actual electricity. Even so, let me not get too much into that. But he leads me beside still waters that are still, not fluctuating, like I said, like a sine wave up and down, ocean current. This current is steady. It leads me beside steady current. The current of this water is steady. This current does not shock me. This current does not throw me off. The current is steady because there's current in water. There's electricity in the ocean, in the waters. So the current in this body of water is steady. It's not the one that will shock me. It's not like, it's more like a DC. Steady, not alternating up and down like a sine wave. Not like this water is not doing that. It's steady. So the ships can go beside this water and drink from it. And they don't have to be pulled in, sucked in, or carried away. Because the shepherd cares for his sheep. He leads me beside still waters. The next verse says, the Lord restores my soul. What does it mean to restore? We say store. I'm going to the store. I'm going to the store to buy groceries. Oh, I'm going to store up some money for rainy day. What does it mean? It has the same connotation. I'm going to this. What do you have in the store? Provisions. Goods, and you have goods, food in the store. And what do you have in your storehouse? Provisions. And what do you store up? You store provisions. You store food for the rainy day in your freezers. That's your store. That's your food. All that is store. And when you go to a restaurant, what do you go there to do? To eat, to restore your energy. That's all. That's where we get the word store. To restoration. Restaurante is all the same. To replenish you. And it says to restore my soul. So the Lord is restoring. When they say I want to restore a house, I want to give it back its vibrancy, its glory, its energy. I want to give it back its enigmatic presence. I want to give it life again, to give it vivacity, revitalize. So he says, the Lord restores my soul. And what is your soul? Your soul is the part of you that you cannot see. The one speaking to you is your soul is your intellect, your aptitude, your wisdom. Your level of wisdom is from the soul. Knowledge has to do with the physical, but wisdom, your innateness, your inside, what is going on inside of you, your comprehension, your articulation, that is your soul. The soul that sinneth shall die. When you are sleeping, your eyes are closed. But how is it that you can see? How is it that you can dream? You are sleeping, your eyes are closed, but you're still seeing. Or is it that those who dream sleep with their eyes open? No, it's not so. There are those who sleep with their eyes closed but still dream. What I want you to see is that you're not there's a different eye of the soul. The flesh is working on physics. The word physics, like you do in school, is short for physical. That's what physics. The physics is short for physical. That's all it is. Physical, that's all it is. Physical. You should call it physical science. That's what physics is. It has to do with the physical. The interaction of your environment with the flesh. How your flesh interacts with the environment. With this, what you can see, what you can touch, that pertains to the flesh. Your eyes and how your eyes interact with the light and your skin, with the wind and all of that. All that is physics, physical. Where do you get the word physique? All of that is physics. But you have you have a soul that has its own operation, which is different from the flesh. So you are not the flesh. The flesh is its own entity. The flesh is its own entity. When the flesh is sleeping, it's akin to being dead. So you have the flesh. When the flesh is sleeping, the soul can still see. The soul is in the place where we call it falsely, or for lack of better words, a better comprehension, we call it the dream world. Or the wise ones call it the world of the visions, the vision world. That's where the soul plays. That's the soul area. The flesh is dealing with this area. And when the soul has to go to some other places, it goes when the flesh is asleep. The flesh being asleep is akin to being dead. When you're sleeping and you wake up, that's a resurrection. But not a resurrection from the dead like King Jesus did. No, but a resurrection as in a coming in its own way. It's in revitalizing the body. The body has regained energy. It's being restored. It's restoring itself. It's recharging. Because your body runs on electricity. It's recharging itself. Your body again runs on electricity. Your flesh runs on electricity. There's electricity in the air. You're breathing it in through your nose. Electricity is abundant. It's free. It's all around us. In the airs, in the discharges, all around us. Electricity is everywhere. That's why you have to shock a heart sometimes. When people are out, they are low on electricity, you have to put electricity in there because of the heart runs on electric power. When you are asleep, again, it's akin to being dead. And no one has tasted death. There's only one person who has tasted death. King Jesus is the only one who has tasted death. No man has died. Not one man has died. Not one person has died. Everyone that we term died or whatever, died and this and that, whatever, they are asleep. It's called sleep. King Jesus he tried to teach these people, but humanities could be they could be slow and hard to teach sometimes because they are so used to certain things and they don't want to learn anything new. They are so stuck on what they've learned and they think that's all there is to know. And when something new comes to them, they harden their hearts. He told them so many times, oh, Lazarus is dead. He told his disciples, they said, okay, if he's dead, he said Lazarus is asleep. And they said, if he's asleep, he doeth good. And he said, oh, these guys don't get it. I'm trying to teach you something deeper, that no one dies, but they're all asleep. He said, okay. They said, if he sleepeth, that means he doeth good. And he just said, he kind of like, all right, these guys will not get it. Let me speak to them in the terms they know. They will learn the lesson later down the line, which they did. And he said to them, Lazarus is dead. Let's go and visit him. But initially he said, Lazarus is asleep. It's what I want you to get. That sleeping is akin to death. No one has tasted death. They are all asleep. They're all their flesh is just being asleep. The soul is what is seen. The soul is a different thing. The soul is doing its own thing, but the flesh is asleep. There's a little girl. He said to them, the damsel sleepeth. And the stupid humanities could be stupid sometimes. They're just too proud and buffoonery. They're just too stubborn. They think they know everything. In the pride of life, they think they know something, but they don't know how finite and how minute they are, how small and how pitiful they could be. Say this damsel is sleeping, and they laughed him to scorn. What an expression! They laughed him to scorn, to derision. They mocked him to the full extent of mocking. This man is a joker. This man said this girl is sleeping. This girl has been dead for how many? Oh, this guy is crazy, man. What did this guy drink today? Man, this guy, you be smoking? You be smoking that shit, huh? You be smoking that thing? Oh, you know how you guys do? You clown. You make a fool of yourself. And he put them all. I said, get out of here. You dumb people cannot learn. You don't comprehend anything. The heavens try to teach you and raise you up, but you don't learn. Say, get out of here. Kick them all out. And when he raised them up, they said his fame went abroad. The same mouth that was mocking started to spread the news. Like, did you see what happened? The same mouth. That's your humanity. They're pitiful. But God so loved you. And he said to them, they are sleeping. Lazarus, he rose. Lazarus, wake up. So they are all asleep. What I want you to understand is no man has tasted death. Everyone is asleep. The only one who has tasted death and has conquered death is King Jesus. He's the only one that has tasted death and he conquered it. Everyone else is asleep. And when you are asleep, your soul is in the dream realm. So those who you consider dead, they are really just taking a long sleep, which they don't. Every day you wake up, it's a resurrection. Again, not a resurrection from the dead. But I'm just giving you in terms that you will understand and comprehend to your level of attainment, to your level of comprehension. Look at it like a resurrection. It's a revitalization. God has given you another chance to do this experience again. Every day is a new life, but somehow we kind of we carry our junk and our train and keep on pulling yesterday's experience and yesterday's thing and keep on pulling it and trying to train it and trying to train it, as in put it in the line, in the formation. I'm not trying to train it. That's what train means, trying to hitch it up together. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years, yesterday, you're training it, you're pulling it all in one, comprehend? That's what we try to do, but every day is a new day. It's a new life. It's a new revitalization. It's a new awakening. It's new. His messages are new every morning. This is a new life, but somehow we train it. And the reason why we train it is because we have properties from yesterday. We still have it. We have cares of yesterday. And Satan has put all these bills and all these things that attach us to the past. Or have these bills I have to pay. So you kind of train it. You kind of subliminally, without being conscious of it, you kind of pull it all together. You kind of chain it. You kind of chain it into one experience, but it's a new one. It's a new experience. And some of the experiences that have effect on your flesh, you still carry it on, but you are not the flesh. You are the soul. That thing that goes into play, into action, into manifestation when this flesh is sleeping, that is you. This soul is just a suit. It's a temple. It's a housing. It works on physics. But the main you, the essence of you is your soul. That's the real you. That is not the real you. That is you. This is your housing. Imagine a man today who lives in a house and saying that house is his representation, is himself. Your house is not you. It has some leaking roof, some things damaged, some broken windows, whatever the case may be, but that house is not you. You don't attach yourself. What people do strange things, but that house is not you. So let me not keep on with the metaphor, because people would just go crazy with it. It's That house is different. That house is separate from you. You leave the house is still there. You might go into the other realm, but the house is still there. So what I want you to understand, this is your housing. This flesh is your housing. You is or you are, however you may comprehend it. Is plural, is singular. You is your soul. Your soul is that which goes into play when this flesh is sleeping, when this flesh is temporarily rebooting, when this flesh is restoring itself, because it has to recharge. It's working on battery, electricity. It has to recharge in ways that you don't comprehend fully. It recharges itself. That's what it's doing. So when the flesh cannot recharge again, the battery supply has been cut off for the supply, that soul stays in the realm where it's at, what we call the dream realm or the vision realm. That's where your parents are. The ones you think that passed away, they're just trapped. They're not trapped. They're just experiencing the soul. They're in that realm. And according to how they've lived their life, if their soul have evil rivers in them, evil manifestations, that's all they know. That's the realm they're inhabiting. Because of your soul is what carries your entity, is what carries your essence. If you're a wicked person, it's coming from your soul, from your inner being. It's not coming from your flesh. So your manifestation and your vision, your casting, your broadcasting, your showing is going to be in the realm of wickedness when you sleep. People that are evil, that do evil when they are in the flesh. People that do evil when they're in the flesh, when they go into the soul realm, they don't start to do good. They have that essence. That essence it manifests and it shoots out. It shoots them out in the realm of wickedness, where they still do their evil. They'll have dreams where they are going to plot kill somebody. They'll have dreams where they are still going to do idol worshiping. So they'll have dreams where they'll still go to plan someone's death, because that's what they do in this physical realm. So when they go into the metaphysical realm, metaphysics means beyond the physical. When they go into the metaphysical realm, they're still the same person. They're still going to be doing the same thing. And that's where you have some of these things that Satan is breaking into your world now, where you have the people going into the digital realm. It's the same thing. Satan is just trying to copy, replicate what I'm explaining to you right now. That's all he's trying to do. Where you have your realm, representation of your digital self is the dream world. He's just trying to confuse you and make it seem like it's something futuristic. It's nothing. It's pitiful, pathetic. Saying, so you have a representation of your digital self, your avatar, and all that garbage, crap, silly joke. So all that stuff, you have your essence, which is still going to be cast in that realm. And so people who so-called are dead, that's where they are. They are still manifesting themselves. They're still doing things. So that's why you can still, when you are in that realm, you see, like your parents might be dead in the way you understand. They're in a long sleep. They haven't woken up in a long time, and they'll not be waking up in this present era of time. In this present era, in this time, or in this present era of time, however you can comprehend it, they're not going to be waking up anytime soon. But when you go into that realm, you see them, because they're still there. And that's why some of these witches want to put you into that realm so you can see them and speak to them, because they're still there. Their soul is still there. If you read in the book, there was a medium of Saul, the king, went to speak with Samuel, because Samuel is in that realm, but he's not in this realm any longer. He's not in the physical realm, because his flesh has expired, so to speak. But Saul wanted to speak to Samuel. He says, "Get me a witch, a medium." So I guess where you get the word media, all this media broadcasting. They're casting out spells. They're casting out spells broadly. It's many works of the devil. Broadcasting, that's why they use this term, media. All these are witchcraft terminologies. Broadcasting and medium and all these things. Forecasting, they want to forecast the future. Tell you what the weather's going to be like. All that is witchcraft agenda. So don't get into none of that. If your disciples don't watch TV. Do not watch that nonsense. Not because of television is bad as an apparatus, because I'm not broadcasting anything on there. Watch me. Don't watch. There's nothing of my stuff on there. All that stuff is of the devil. Showing naked bodies and all this nonsense. All these decrepit haggards, sorcerers, and foolishness on there. So that is where Saul said, "I'm going to speak to Samuel. I want to speak to Samuel, the last judge of the Israelites. He was the priest, the one who grew up in the temple. God spoke to him when he was very young, and he loved Saul. Saul was a very tall, handsome man. He loved him. He looked on the outside of Saul and saw prospects. He said, "This man can do great things. Look at his physique. Look at his beauty. Look at his fairness. But Saul's soul was not as the flesh was. So because of man judges the soul from the outside in. Follow me now. They are judging this. That they're judging how the soul would look, or how the soul would manifest, or uh, how the soul would play out from the flesh. But not so every time. Some people have a beautiful flesh, but their soul is ugly. You'd be like, wow, why? Look at the beautiful flesh. But God judges from the inside out. He looks on the inside, and whatever's on the outside, he can change that. He doesn't care about the outside. Not that he doesn't care about the outside, because he made it, but the inside outweighs the outside. But for man, the outside outweighs the inside, because a man is trapped in the physical. So Saul was able to emanate, was able to conjure Samuel, and Samuel predicted his death. Like, you're gonna die tomorrow. You're gonna die. You're gonna come join me over here. You're coming to join me. See, and that's so. What I want you to get, that is, your soul is different from your flesh. Your soul is in the other realm, manifesting, gesticulating. That's how your soul is gesturing. Because people think the outside shows how the inside of how the soul would gesture, but it's not always that way. People have beautiful flesh, but they're pathetic on the inside. They're wicked on the inside. It is because of they've given themselves to evil. So let's carry on. This is still Psalm 23. I still know where I left off, because I left off when he restored my soul. So I'm trying to make you understand what the soul is. This is a very deep psalm. The Bible is very, very deep, and I'm expounding Psalm 23 to you. He restored my soul. The Lord leads me into the paths of righteousness. The righteous path. There's a right path and there's a left path. The right and the left. The right side is for the sheep. The left side is for the goat. The opposite of right is left. The opposite of right is not wrong. The opposite of wrong is correct. Correct and wrong, right and left. So the righteousness and leftiousness. Yes, righteousness and leftiousnness. The ones who will be left behind. That's the whole concept. So you'll be left behind. It's from the same train of thought. Like I said, always get the concept of words. Don't get stuck in the words. When you say you'll be left behind, it means you'll be on the left side. So the Lord puts me on the right side, on the right hand. I'm his right hand man. You ever hear that expression? Right hand man. The one who stands on the right hand of God, the right side, right standing. So the Lord leads me to the paths of righteousness. He leads me to where I will be in the right hand of God are blessings. Blessings and prosperity. On his left hand, curses, damnation. When the Lord wants to say, it says that I will save you with my right hand. And inside I will save you with my left hand. I'll save you with my right hand, the right hand of God. So he says, leads me to the path of righteousness for his name's sake. So because of God wants his sheep to prosper. When his sheep prosper, when they look fat and flourishing and buoyant, and they look all scrumptious, and they look all beautiful and robust and rosy, his name is like, man, that's a good shepherd, man. He takes care of his sheep. His sheep looks good, man. Look at the sheep, man. They look all fat. Look at the wool. The wool looks, they're so full of wool, man. Look at how they look. That's a hardworking shepherd. A lazy shepherd is the one who doesn't take care of his sheep. The sheep are in the barn all day. He doesn't go out to forage. So they look lean. They look withered. They look dirty. Their wool looks dirty. They look old. They haven't been pulled. They haven't been groomed. That's a lazy shepherd. But the Lord leads his sheep to the path of righteousness for his name's sake, for his reputation. So his reputation, when they see his sheep, his name is spoken of in the gates well. They say that's a good shepherd. Look at his sheep. Look at his sheep. Look at how beautiful they are. That's why God takes care of his ships. For his name's sake. Namesake is reputation. That's what the namesake is. For his reputation. So his name is spoken well. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death valley. It's a little different. It's a little different now. I read it so many times in the same way. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Listen again. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Now listen one more time. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death valley. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death valley. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death valley. We're going to go with this one. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death valley. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death valley. That's what this is really saying. Death, there's a valley of death. This is poetry speaking. Valley of the shadow of death. No, the right way to say is the shadow of death valley. The shadow of the valley of death. The shadow of the valley of death. This is way to speak it. I want you to comprehend. You're my disciples. I'm going to make you wiser than the average bum on the street, the average monkey that's walking with Satan. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. In the scriptures, it's written, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow. I want you to twist it around. I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. Through the shadow of the valley of death. The valley of death is a place. And when the light hits the valley, to have shadow, you must have light. And when the light cannot permeate through that, see my visage right here? See, there's a shadow right there. It's because of my hand is preventing the light. You see that? My hand is preventing the light, so it casts a shadow. So the sheep are walking through that shadow. There is no light. The light is being inhibited, obstructed. There is no light. That's why there's a shadow. But the light is not absent. It's not just allowed. There are places that are wicked. They don't allow light in. The city of the Gadarenes, when that man was healed, they saw the light and they pushed the light out. They said, get out of our city. They told the king, leave us. Light came. Light came into their city and they cast the light out. So he says, if I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but I want you to twist it around. If I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I will fear no evil. No evil will I fear. You guys, you watch this again and you pick it up. I will fear no evil. No evil will I fear. So there's no evil that will cause me to be afraid. Because of evil flourishes in the dark. It says the children of men don't want to come into the light because of their works are evil. But the sons of God come to the light that their works may be seen, and men will glorify their Father in heaven. But it's wicked children hide in the shadow. They don't want to come to the light because of their works are evil. So evil flourishes in the shadow. But even though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I fear no evil. No evil will I fear. And why? Because the Lord, the good shepherd, is with me. His rod, his staff, they comfort me. It's like a person who cannot see. But when he's holding somebody, that's comfort. Because if he knows the one who is holding on to sees, even in the dark. Because he's in the dark. Comprehend. Please think, you're my disciples, you get it. You will get it. You're very wise. The spirit of wisdom be upon you, that you may comprehend 10 times even when I speak once. Even that which I speak not, let the Holy Spirit emanate it upon you. Receive it. Receive it. Receive it. I give it through. I beam it through to you. Receive it. Get wisdom. Receive the wisdom. In the name of the mighty one, in the name of the only begotten Son of the Father, King Jesus the Christ, receive wisdom, receive knowledge, and receive understanding, that you may comprehend my words, my utterance, in every layer which I speak it upon. Receive it, claim it, it's yours. Receive it, catch it, it's yours. It's yours, I give it to you freely. Give it, so I shall not keep on trying to explain myself. Give it, I give it to you. So the one who is in the dark has confidence. He's not worried because of he's holding on to the rod. The man's arm has become a rod. And the rod of the shepherd is the staff. When the sheep is going out of line, all he does is the sheep's rear behind the leg, he nudges them and they go back in line. That's comfort. Okay, go back in. You're going out of line. Go back in. That's comfort, guidance. That's what the Lord would do for you. The Lord will do that. When you're in the dark, fear no evil. Because the Lord sees. The Lord will guide you because of his rod and his staff. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of the valley of death, I fear no evil. Again, men love to do evil when they are in the dark because men cannot see it. See, now there's dark, men will love to do evil. But the children of God, when there is darkness, they fear not because they have the master's rod. The master's rod is also the master's voice, telling them, go this way. Not that way, son. Not that way. The other way. In the dark, the Lord is still guiding you. Not that way, son. Make a left. Make a right. How do you know these things, Lord? Because they know the Lord knows everything. Stop. Sit down here. Wait for 5 minutes. Wait 2 minutes. Get up. Go. Don't look back. Sit over here. This is all the Master is telling you. Directing you. Every second is directing you. Stand up. Put the light back on. Stop here. Right here. Wait. In the dark. So even in the dark, you are not afraid. You're not afraid. The darkness doesn't scare you. Nothing frightens you because the Master's voice is with you. The Master's rod, the Master's guidance is still present. The rod and his staff, they comfort me. And the word staff is where we also get the word staff. Like in office people say staff. it has the same concept. It means staff is the ones who guide. They guide the whole enterprise. They guide people. They guide the whole. They guide. They're like the rod. Put people in line. Tell people what to do. Where's the staff over around here? The staff tell people what to do. So it's the same concept. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So in the midst of my enemies, I'm still flourishing. I'm still eating. I'm still confident. In the midst of the wolves, he prepares a table before me. The wolves will look at you, but they cannot come to get you because of they see the shepherd standing right next to you. They are afraid of the shepherd. They see the shepherd and they said, no, we cannot come. They howl, they're howling. But you're eating. They cannot come near because the shepherd is there. The good shepherd will give his life for his sheep. And they know this and they said, we're not going there. The shepherd is present. The shepherd is present. We're not going there. So thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Thou anointest my hair with oil, my cup runneth over. This is care. This is like pouring. This is like cleaning the sheep, taking care of them, making sure they are up there, they are clean and optimum and looking good. It's the same thing as anointing the head of the servant with oil. For you to have oil, you have to have money. Oil is research. You have to buy it. So you mean for your head to be anointed with oil, you have enough. And for your cup to run over, it means you're not careful. You're not mising. If you have a little bit of wine, you're trying to save it. Like, let me just pour a little bit. No, but you're in abundance. You're so flourishing. You're just splurging. You just pouring the wine. It's like, oh, spill it. Oh, you're not taking care. You're not keeping account. You have more than enough. You're superfluous. You're overflowing. My cup runneth over. My cup overrunneth. But there's like this picture of your wine just spilling on the table, and you're like, oh, trying to get it off, spilling on your dress and your clothing, because you have enough. It means abundance. A picture of abundance. For you to have oil in your head, it means abundance. You have enough for your food, for your oil, for your lamp, because oil is used for lamp. Oil is used for cooking. Oil is used for anointing the hair. It's used for skin. For you to have oil, it means you're doing well. Used for fire. So it's a picture of prosperity. The Lord will cause you to prosper wheresoever you go. Whatsoever the man doeth, he shall prosper. Psalm 1. It says, surely goodness and surely mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Surely goodness, surely mercy shall follow me all the days of life. So there'll always be mercy. Mercy is being favored. It's also another word for the mercy right here is favor. Favor and goodness will follow me. Unmerited. Mercy is, I suppose, mercy is in the picture of have mercy, Lord. Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. You heard that because of you, maybe you have done something wrong. Then you say, oh, Lord, please have mercy. Don't give me a due reward for my action. If you recompense me according to the work of my hand, it will not be favorable. It will not be beneficial. So that's why the right word here, or another word here, could be favor. Mercy comes from favor. The sure mercies of David. says, I'm going to overlook certain things just because of my servant David. David was not in existence, but he was still getting, his house was still showing mercy. The sure mercies of David means I will show you, I will give you that which you don't deserve. So I will give you that which you don't deserve. Even that which you deserve, I will give you more. It's a double-edged thing. It's like you're you're gonna be in my favor. I'm always gonna do you good. Even even in doing you wrong, when I do you wrong, I'm gonna be doing you good. Your wrong will be correct. Like your evil my evil towards you will be good. The evil I will do unto you will be for your own good. That's God. God's ways are not man's ways. God said, I'm going to do evil to you, but my evil will bring good to you. God is not a man, so comprehend that. My evil will be your good. My evil I'll give you will be good. Because of you have favor. It says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The house of the Lord is in the presence of the Lord. You're going to dwell in his presence. And in the presence of the Lord, there's fullness of joy. In the house of the Lord, the Lord's house is his presence. It means you're going to be joyful forever and ever and ever. So this is a beautiful psalm. Keep reading it. Read it as many times as possible. Read it daily and meditate upon it. Every day you read it, there's something new that's going to come out from it. I hope you have been edified. Bless you. One love and peace.